everybody, welcome back to the channel. Fly and Ride here. I've got a different video for you today, but before we start and talk about what we're doing today, what do we got here? What is that? That is the 2021 Road Glide Limited. So Fly and Ride Senior is in town on vacation, and he is a master technician. Been in the business for over 40 years, in the body shop business specifically. Retired now, so he still does it, still has the skill. And on my SUV, I ran into a log. I don't know, it just popped in there in the middle of the woods. You can see from the bumper, it has a crack on it, and he's going to fix it. So I figured I would document the process, show you what he's doing, talk about all the steps. So in the event that any of you were interested in doing this on your own, it can apply to a motorcycle, although slightly different. A car, you can follow similar steps, and hopefully it helps you. But before I continue to show you that, I wanted to show you the Road Glide Limited in Midnight Crimson Red, or burgundy. And I rented this from Eagle Rider, so Fly and Ride Senior and I can ride around. But this video today is really about showing you the steps for fixing anything that happens to any of your cars or your motorcycles. If you wanted to do it on your own, we're going to show you the process that you can follow. All of the supplies that we're using, including the paint, the clear, the putty, across the board. But I wanted to show you these beauties. We're going to go riding in a little bit, but let's head on over and go check out what Fly and Ride Senior is up to. So we're using that bad boy. That's what's powering the D8. As well as the paint gun at some point. So the first step of the process that he's doing right there is he is sanding it down. Got to take off all the paint, turn it down, make it smooth before we start the next step. So right now he's drilling a hole so that when he applies the putty or the epoxy, it goes into the holes and then it becomes one piece. And we've got to use the heat gun, because it has a bump right there, and he's got to take that out as well. So obviously he's heating up the plastic so he can put it back into its original position. So he's using the back of the screwdriver, it's nice and round, to put it back into position, and then he uses the wet cloth to cool it down so that it stays in the position that it needs to be. Looking good already. Yep. So the crack was here originally. You can't even see it now because with the 8, and as he was sanding it down, the plastic just sort of binds right in, and it's already almost fixed. Very smooth. So this is the next step in the process. We apply something called icing polyester finishing putty, P-U-T-T-Y. Right over that. That's the drying agent. The more you put on, the faster it dries. So now you apply that in thin layers over the affected area. That eventually is going to dry, and then we're going to sand it back down again to make it smooth. So you squeeze that in there so that it goes into the holes. And then that's going to dry and bind right in there. So now you got to make that line there, and that's going to take some art, and some experience helps. So now he's sanding down the putty from before that he just laid down after it dries. Applying some primer. So now we're using 1200 grain sandpaper, wet, to sand the area where he just used the primer. And then he's also sanding, as you can see, this other area here that has no issue, but this is where the paint is going to be blended. This is a 3-stage. So you got to do paint, you got to do the pearl, and you got to do the clear. And it has to go all the way from here, all the way to here in stages, so that it is smooth and it blends right in, and you can't see any breaks in the paint. And that's why he's not just sanding this area here, he's sanding all the way across here. Now we got to start putting paper and covering everything else so that way when we start to paint, none of that excess paint goes on top of the clean surface area. So to paint that, you have to do all of that. You basically have to cover the entire car. Again, we're using 1200 wet sandpaper to sand down the primer. This is a step right before we start the painting. So what we're doing is we're mixing the 3-stage paint here. So this is the base, this is the pearl, and then this is the reducer that goes in here, gets mixed, and it goes into the paint gun. Here we go. First coat. So that right there is the pearl. You can actually see it. Very cool. Look at that pearl. All right, and now the last step of the process, the clear. And this is the final product. Awesome job. I mean, literally back to brand new. All right, so that's gonna do it for this video. Do me a favor, if you like this video, hit that like button. It really helps out the channel. Also, remember to subscribe and remember to hit that bell icon so you can be reminded of future content. Also, leave it down in the comments below. I realize this video is not within the normal content that I provide for all of you, but I figured that since Fly&Ride Senior was here, again, he is a master technician, has been in the business for over 40 years, the body shop business. He's been doing that for that long. And although he's retired now, he continues to do it. It's an amazing skill set, I think. And he offered to fix the car for me. And although it's on the car, the same process can be applied. So I hope that showing you step by step as much as we could, it helps you if you are considering doing this on your own, on your car, and on your motorcycle. Also, I'm gonna leave down in the description below all of the supplies that we used, or most of the supplies that we used. And if you have any questions, again, just leave it down in the comments below. I respond to every comment. So feel free to let me know your thoughts about this video. Let me know your thoughts about this content. And Fly&Ride Senior is actually in the Miami area. So if anyone wants any work done, for an incredibly competitive price, then also hit me up in the comments if you're in the Miami area, and I'd be glad to make the connect for you. Thanks for watching.